Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Comics and Coffee. It's Wednesday.
Yay!
Tech issues are awesome.
Also, day 0 of SDCC 2019. Did you know it's the 50th anniversary of San Diego Comic-Con? That's crazy.
Come to my panel, come to my panel, come to my panel.
Malika has a panel
Malika!
at San Diego Comic-Con.
When's your panel? 2 p.m. tomorrow?
Yes. And then at 3 p.m. we are gaming with the audience. How cool is that?
Oh,
Marriott,
dang. I think it's Grand Room 10/11 because I think they just turned 2 rooms into one big one. So there you go. Done. We're also going to post a graphic out because there's other people who also have panels. We're going to post a graphic out through Hypermain, and I'll tweet it out through my socials and Hyper Heroes. Hector's got some panels. A few other people have panels. So it's going to be an exciting exciting weekend. We were just talking about how we're in a little bit of a snafu because friggin' Warner Brothers, their IT trailer, they're not dropping it until 9 a.m. tomorrow. I won't be here. I'm leaving tonight.
Oh, yeah, that's
So
right.
we're trying to figure out how the hell we're going to do a trailer reaction when we're not together. And last time we had such a fun time getting spooked by that movie.
And
preview.
Since then, I watched it finally.
Chapter 1.
I
So the
watched
YouTube
it.
comments can't be mad at you anymore.
I watched it twice because it was so awesome. It's a really
you watched
good
it
movie.
twice?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't know that.
I love it.
Oh man, yeah.
I love it so much.
It's so good. And they're doing an activation tonight called Scare Diego, where New Line basically premieres, looks at their upcoming horror slate. And I honestly don't remember what's on there except for It Chapter 2. I do wish that they would have just dropped the trailer tonight though, because I'm sure they're going to show it there. I don't know why we got to wait till tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a bummer. I would have liked us to have done the reaction. So we're trying to figure out, okay, do I do it alone? Does Zach do it with Lucas? Do we not do it? But that seems like a complete waste because the last trailer that we did over 100,000 views. So
What?
yeah, it got like
Hey, by the way,
130,000.
this is for you.
Yeah.
I'm making you some coffee.
Oh,
right now.
sick, bro. Are you Peter McKinning this episode of Comics and Coffee?
I've been doing this shit way before Peter McKinnon was even born. Actually, we're probably the same age. I think we're about the same age. Is he older than me?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I think he's like 37 or 38.
Oh, so he's got like a couple years on.
I mean, he's not older than you. He's not like in his 40s. That smells good, though. That smells good.
You can't smell
smells
that,
good.
but yo.
It smells real good. But yeah, so Comic-Con is happening. I think this is like I've been going since 2000, but I think in those last 19 years, I think I have missed maybe 2. So next year technically won't be my 20th. It'll probably be like my 18th or 19th. But I'm looking forward to it. I think obviously the big thing for us is going to be the Marvel Studios panel. That's not happening until Saturday night. But in the meantime, tomorrow there's a panel for Terminator Dark Fate in the morning. I can't wait to see that. There's also Batman Beyond 20th Anniversary panel.
That's cool.
I'm looking forward to that. My hope is, and I talked about in the last Hyper Heroes episode, I think it would be so amazing if they announced a new season for DC Universe. Will they? Probably not. Maybe they'll announce a remaster. But look, last year, for the anniversary or the celebration panel for Star Wars Clone Wars, people thought, nah, it's just going to be a celebration of the show. And then at the very end, Dave Filoni and crew dropped a teaser for Season 6. So you never know. You never know. So I'm looking forward to it. I think that there's also some rumors that Terminator might be followed up by Top Gun because they're both Paramount. So we'll see. It should be a fun weekend. I'm mostly looking forward to hanging out with friends, going to some panels. We're not doing crazy coverage like we did last year because that was just bananas. That was way too much. Way too much. And it cost a lot of money.
Yeah, I'm not even going.
No. I mean, you're going on Saturday for the meetup.
I'm going on Saturday. I'm driving 3 hours to just hang out with fans and friends, and then in a couple hours driving right back for 3 hours.
Yeah. So if you don't know, we do have a meetup on Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. It's in the Hilton Gaslamp Hotel. Not in the lobby of the hotel, but it's on the ground floor. There's an outside little seating area around the perimeter of the hotel.
Same place we did last year,
Yeah,
right? It was
same place we did last year. It's facing the Comic-Con side. So we'll be there. We'll be hanging out from 1 to 3. A lot of us will be jumping in and out as we come and go from panels. But if you are at Comic-Con, please come by, say hi. If you see us walking on the floor, say hi. I'm so bummed when I see people on Twitter like, I saw you walking through the hall, but I didn't want to bother you, and I was too scared to say hi. I'm like, just say hi.
We're
just
even
come
taking
up.
Kaiju to the meetup.
Yeah, we're bringing the dog. Kaiju!
And
He doesn't
apparently
care.
a lot of the Kolak cast is going to the meetup. Strawberry texted me today, said she was going to the meetup.
Yeah, Mika's coming.
Mika's coming.
Yeah.
Early game preview?
What?
Okay, you say things and then walk away as if I understand the context of what you're talking about.
She just dusted you, bro.
If you're coming to the Thumper meetup at San Diego Comic-Con, there may be some early, unreleased tabletop games for you to try out as well.
That's what she meant by
exclusive
game preview before she just said game preview and walked away.
She just went. Also, everyone knows this. This is not a secret. You know what I'm looking forward to?
What's that?
California burritos.
Yeah, I'm going to miss out on that this year. I'm a little bummed.
Why?
Because I'm only there for 3 hours.
Dude, go there first, call in your order, bring it to the meetup, and then chomp it down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not bad. We're even taking Kaiju, though. Like, Kaiju's coming to the meetup. We're driving all the way down there with Kaiju in the car. We may regret
that
this
dog
later.
is going to be so overwhelmed by all the people who are going to be like, Kaiju, 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 Kaiju,
oh,
Kaiju.
He'll fucking love it. He'll fucking
You're going to get so much attention on Saturday. You dingus. He's like 3/4 of the way to sleep.
I know. It's the afternoon. 4 a.m. He'll be like, wake up, Dad.
That's right. That's right.
Fuck you.
But, yeah, I'm super excited to go down. I would love to know.
To you, good sir.
Oh, damn.
To you.
That's some service. Servicio, por favor. Man, that smells good.
All right, I'm going to let you keep talking while I empty this out and make myself a cup.
Okay.
So you keep going.
I will. But I would love to know from the people in the chat room. So we do have the YouTube and the Twitch chat pulled up. I would love to know who is going to SDCC. I mean, if you're in the chat room, you're either down there now or you're coming maybe on Thursday or tomorrow, Friday or Saturday. I would love to know, though, who's going to be coming down. I'm looking forward to just being home again for the weekend, even though it is somewhat of like a mix of work and play. And then on Saturday night, I am competing in the Movie Trivia Schmodown, the Inner Geekdom match. It's going to be a crazy night. I am fighting Kevin Smets, who I hear trains, does workouts while listening to movies, and just like runs for miles upon miles.
Lose.
I know. It's fine, though.
You're going to lose.
But you know how I'm a winner? Because I'm going to be doing it while eating a California burrito.
Yeah, baby.
I'm going to have a burrito everywhere I go.
You're going to be like, what are we here for?
Yeah.
I don't even care.
Oh, movie trivia? Oh, I thought this was burrito trivia. I can tell you the 4 ingredients in this burrito, and it's perfect. Yeah, and then Saturday night, I think after that, it's going to be just like a chill night. I know a few of my friends from San Diego are going to come hang out, and we're going to avoid the downtown area. There are plenty of industry events. I'm not interested in going to things that I can't bring my friends to.
Yeah.
Because that's dumb.
What?
The whole point of going to Comic-Con is to spend time with people.
With your friends, not go to exclusive parties, despite what people may tell you.
And the first 2 years that I went to Comic-Con with Augie and Hector, we all got to go together. So that was fine because we didn't have a crew. Like, there was no... It was us 3 and like 2 other people, so that was easy. But last year, we went down with a group of like 15, 16 people, and... I would say more than half of them couldn't get into anything, so I was like, well, I don't want to go to stuff.
I'm going to be completely honest with you all. Probably not with my friends, though.
Yeah.
Last year kind of ruined Comic-Con for me. Like, Matt and I both were talking about this, and we're like, last year was so stressful.
Yeah.
So stressful. I am not pumped about Comic-Con because of last year.
I want to give a shout out to Jonathan Glasgow, who got the ingredients perfectly. Carne asada, cheese, fries, and sour cream.
And this is why I can't have actual California burritos.
Yeah, you miss out on sour cream and
amalgamation California burritos that are still really tasty, but not as Adam would have them.
Yeah, I know. Because for you to get it, you're going to have a 2-ingredient burrito unless you substitute some stuff in. You can have guacamole, right?
Look, Pablito's down the street, okay?
That place is really good.
I'm so upset that I got sick last night. I think there was some cross-contamination, and I got sick last night. I'm allergic to dairy. Makes me really sick.
You were 100% fine when you were eating, and then I walked in the office, and you walked by, Malika going upstairs.
And it was
like,
bad.
what the hell just happened to you, dude?
News. And that's like, it took a little bit to hit, but when it hit, it was bad. But they've got this, there's this taco stand that just opened down the street from us.
Yeah.
They're even on Yelp. They're freaking awesome.
It's good.
And their California burrito is rice, beans, fries, crack sauce, they call it.
It's crack.
I don't know what the fuck's in it. For
real.
But it's amazingly good. Onion, cilantro, and then they have Peruvian meat.
Yeah.
So for me, I was, I don't need cheese and sour cream. There's enough stuff in there. But I do wish they would have added more crack sauce to mine because I could tell that the cheese and the sour cream kind of helped moisturize all the fries.
Yeah.
You need something to soak up those fries.
For sure.
The fries dry it out really quick.
Yeah. I just got a text message. Hey, man, any chance I could crash on your floor in SD just on Friday night? I could, of course, throw some cash. My Venmo memo would say cash to crash, even though it would be through Venmo.
But you don't know who the message is from.
It's a phone number. Who are you?
But the Venmo is cash to crash?
Yeah, I'm like, is this real? Who is this?
Is this a scam?
Is this a scam? Who are you? And you know what? It's kind of rare that something like this happens because I've had the same. I don't know if I should say this. I don't think it really matters. I've had the same phone number since I got a cell phone. So the fact that like I don't have somebody's phone number saved in my phone is very rare. I have over 500 contacts in my phone. I talk to maybe 4 of them. But usually if I get a text from someone, immediately I know who it is.
Yeah.
So that's pretty rare.
I only get hit up by telemarketers wanting money.
Yeah, right?
And by that I mean bill collectors.
It's Minsui. Oh. Minsui, you goof. You got to say who you are. I don't have your number. Now I do, though.
Okay. Okay, so we actually have quite a few things to talk about today.
There's a lot.
Outside of Comic-Con, I mean, honestly, I hope you guys report back to me. I'll be watching whatever coverage you have, obviously.
Yeah.
I do have a pass.
You do?
I do have a pass. So I am thinking about hitting the floor for 1 hour on Saturday during the meetup because I get social anxiety. So I'll probably be like, hey, great to meet everyone. Hit the floor for 1 hour.
Do you not want to go to the Marvel Studios panel?
Wait, what? Is that Saturday?
It's on Saturday night, baby, at 5:45.
Wait, really? Can I get in?
You have a press badge, don't you?
I don't have a press badge.
What?
Mine's just like a guest badge because I'm a panel guest.
Wait a second. What?
Do I actually have a press badge?
You should be on there.
Oh, really?
You should look at your email. Unless Lucas didn't sign you up because you said you weren't going.
I probably said I wasn't going because I knew we couldn't afford it this year.
Zach, you always just get the pass just to
sorry.
have the pass.
I'm sorry. But I do have a pass. It's like a guest pass.
I don't know if you'll be able to get in with that.
You know, I'm cool without it.
All right.
Let other people who, like, I love Marvel News. I love all that stuff. But I have, like, a lot of group anxieties and big groups.
Sure.
And Comic-Con's hard for me.
Yeah, man.
But I do love Artist Alley, and I do love picking up some art.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
I feel like if I'm there, I might as well take 1 hour to run in, grab a couple pieces of art to hang in the studio, and then get out. And I say all that as I realize I have no money, and I probably can't do that. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to happen.
Look,
that's probably not going to happen.
let's be for real right now. Let's put this on Front Street right now.
Let's put this on Front Street
on
right
Front
now.
Street?
I've never heard that before.
In the last month, our YouTube revenue has dropped by 50%. Like, our videos are completely being crushed.
That YouTube revenue pays for Adam's rent. Like, no joke.
No, it doesn't now.
Now it doesn't, though. But that's how Adam was paying rent. And now it's like, what are we doing?
So if you are not a part of Patreon and or you don't watch the Twitch content, I highly recommend you check it out. There are plenty of amazing ways to support all the Twitch shows. That obviously helps support HyperRPG as a company.
Adpocalypse.
If you've never been on our Patreon, go to patreon.com/hyperrpg. Check out all the stuff that we're doing. We're obviously always trying to do more. We've been having conversations nonstop for the last week or two about YouTube and how we can start, changing up some things and making adjustments.
We talk about it a lot.
We talk about it all the time.
We talk about it a lot.
Because
on YouTube
I live
blow our minds.
Yeah, and like that's why you're seeing me putting a lot of like hyperhero stuff on other platforms just to continue sort of expanding the brand outward. And I'm sure we'll probably end up doing more stuff like that with all of hyper stuff as well, just to get it out there because you got to be chasing that YouTube algorithm, y'all. And that algorithm is all about watch time and retention.
All about making 12-year-olds happy, yo.
It's a thing.
We curse in our content sometimes.
That's
demonetized.
That's why you see things like language popping up in all the videos now, because YouTube scans the audio and it can track and tell when someone is cursing.
You can't use a bleep anymore.
Exactly.
It even clarifies a bleep as bad language. A bleep is bad language.
Curazar's right, though. Start making Fortnite videos. So Fortnite and Minecraft are the two safest things you can do on YouTube because they are all ages friendly. And, if you're smart about it, you don't have to swear in it. Therefore, you don't lose any monetization.
I really do appreciate this. Thank you, Aridance, over on the Twitch
Thank you so much
for tipping $20 to help me find a new piece of art for the studio. I appreciate that.
That's amazing.
That's
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I see. It's funny because we created a bot to repost tips on our Twitch. You might want to keep it open on your YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Because,
I don't know if this helps, but I've tried installing Nightbot onto YouTube twice. And for some reason, it keeps getting disconnected, and I don't understand why.
Nightbot wouldn't even post your tips, though. Like,
That's true.
Pillowzack made
That's
Yojimbot,
true.
which reposts our tips for us so we can see it in the
Yeah,
chat.
and you probably can't integrate that into YouTube, right? Because it doesn't have the
And
ability.
our restream chat that pulls all our chats together doesn't show the YouTube tips for some reason.
It's
so
stoopy.
If you do tip on YouTube and we don't see it, please just post in the chat room. We don't want to by any way miss that.
And if you do use the super chat, I have it open on my phone, and you do ask a question, we will prioritize those questions throughout the show.
And we got a lot of people watching on YouTube today.
Yeah,
so
thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate everybody being here. We're going to talk about some exciting stuff today outside of us griping about tech for the first 5 minutes, but it sounds like everything's smooth now.
Like butter, baby.
Everything's smooth now. And I will say tonight on Rat Queens, I'm really excited. We have a special Cat Kings episode of Rat Queens tonight. I will be playing Neil the Fun Guy.
That is something you would have to play.
Yeah, well, he is I love it. He has the exact same outfit as D.
Oh, okay.
With like a loincloth and everything. But it's made out of mushrooms.
Of course it is.
And he's a druid mage.
Of course it is.
So I'm going to be playing Neil the Fun Guy.
Good Lord.
Our good friend Kyle's going to be coming, and also Brandon Winfrey, and it's going to be really fun. It's going to be really fun. So that'll be tonight on Rat Queens. But other things to talk about. We have Thor 4 has been announced, and you and I have already been like shooting the shit about this today. So I feel like I was like, man, we should be saving this for our show because we just start talking about it.
I know. Yeah. So if you didn't hear the announcement, this has not been confirmed, by the way, by Marvel Studios. It is very likely that if this is actually true, this will very likely be announced on Saturday at the Marvel Studios panel on Saturday night. This coffee is delicious, by the way. Just letting you know. Yep, there it is. Baby's in the crib. Taika Waititi's returning to direct Thor 4, or more Thor, or Thor, whatever you want to call it. I think I made a joke and I was like, Thor 4, fatter, bigger, and more worthy. So yeah, he's coming back to direct the 4th Thor film, the only Avenger to get a 4th film in their solo series. But because of that, the Akira movie that he was working on over at Warner Brothers has been put on the back burner. Not completely shelved, not completely, it's not dead.
That's the best news I've heard all day.
Do you not want that movie to be made?
No. Fucking Akira's perfect. That's the perfect movie.
Zach, don't you know how Hollywood works?
Some things are fucking sacred. I love Waititi. Akira's perfect. Stay away.
Language.
Damn it.
Yeah. So I've seen sort of mixed thoughts about this. Some people are bummed that Akira has been delayed. Some people are upset because they don't properly read the articles that say he didn't necessarily take one over the other because he didn't want to work on one of them. It was strictly a scheduling, scripting issue that caused Akira to get delayed. Therefore, he said, okay, I'm going to pivot back to Marvel and work on Thor.
So here's something you and I were talking about.
Yeah.
It's already known that James Gunn had to push back his Guardians 3 because after the whole exodus with Disney and everything that happened there, he jumped on Suicide Squad 2, and he's committed to that. So he's not going over to Guardians 3 until after Suicide Squad 2.
Correct.
So that immediately makes you wonder, well, wait a minute. If this is all getting fast-tracked and Waititi's heading over to Thor 4, there's a really good chance Thor 4 will be as Guardians of the Galaxy. And we're going to get to actually see Waititi touching Guardians,
right.
like everybody wanted when Gunn was kind of pushed out, because I can't imagine they're going to wait to do Thor 4 until after everything's done with Suicide Squad.
Yeah, and timeline-wise, it would make sense if this announcement is coming out now and it gets confirmed on Saturday, it would make total sense that between now and the end of the year, Taika is going to work on figuring out what Thor 4 is. What happened?
Sorry, I just saw the comment in the chat. The Akira comment, the reason it was on delay is because ScarJo is unavailable.
Woo, doggy. Where there are flames, there is big fire. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So, yeah, I think if the announcement goes through and on Saturday it is announced that Taika Waititi's coming back to do Thor 4, then I think he's going to use the rest of this year to develop and figure out what the movie is. And I wouldn't be surprised if that possibly included working somehow with James Gunn. Gunn will be shooting Suicide Squad at that point, possibly, in the beginning of the year. So I don't know. I don't know how that's really going to work, but it would make sense.
It makes sense that production schedule-wise, you're going to want Thor 4 to come out before Guardians 3 because it's like like you said, you're looking at like 2024 or 25, and that's a long time between those Thor movies when Thor 3 was so successful.
Yeah, exactly. And if I were to guesstimate, I think Marvel has a poll in May. I wouldn't be surprised if they're able to finish Thor by that time. That will come out in May 2021 or early 2021, and then we'll get Suicide Squad. And then once he's done, doing the press tour and stuff, he'll already be working on Guardians of the Galaxy at that point. But I think it's very likely that by 2022
there's a good chance
could get it.
His contract won't let him even talk about Guardians 3 that much until Suicide Squad 2 is out.
Yeah,
Lots of times because they're not going to want him like updating everyone on Guardians 3 while he's working on Suicide Squad 2.
Yeah, and I think it's very possible. So it's not Marvel has done this before, where Peyton Reed came over and took over for Edgar Wright, and within 12 months he was able to turn around Ant-Man. I think it is very possible for James Gunn to turn around Guardians of the Galaxy 3 within 12 to 14 months. I think it still will be a little tight though because of the spectacle of the Guardians movies. They're cosmic, so there's a lot of elements working in those movies. So I think it's possible. But if that movie does come, I saw that. If that movie does come out in August 2022, it's going to be a rush to get those movies.
And I don't want him to rush.
I don't either.
So then
I'm
we
willing
started
to wait till
talking about.
2023.
We started theorizing about Waititi doing Guardians and how if anyone was going to pull the rug out from under you, it would be Waititi, and how we think we're going to get as Guardians of the Galaxy. The first trailer would probably be the Guardians and Thor together and all this stuff. Yeah. And watching the first 10 minutes, we were talking watch it be like, oh, remember all the journeys we've shared, and it's like they've been together for a whole bunch of stuff, and it's just a bunch of quick flashbacks, but then like, as your leader, I think it's time I finally leave you.
As the what?
Yeah, and then it's
gotta go.
And that's it. And it's just like a collection of flashbacks of journeys they were on, and then Thor's on his own thing. It's like if anyone was going to do that, it would be Waititi. But there are a lot of great opportunities to do a movie with Thor and the Guardians together.
I made a joke that I know that they won't do because I think it would anger everyone. If your first trailer is literally the first 10 minutes of that movie, and if it does have Thor and the Guardians, it presents the trailer like the whole movie is about the Thor and the Guardians going on an adventure together. But then when you sit down and you watch it, it's the first 10 minutes.
10 minutes, and then it's.
I think people would riot.
Or because it's Waititi, you'd be like, "This is hilarious."
Yeah, this is amazing. I love it. So we have 2 tips from the super chat on YouTube. Thank you so much to Loopy Lupin, who says instead of buying coffee, here's the donation. Thank you so much for that $4.49.
Appreciate that.
I believe those are Australian dollars.
Woo!
So thank you very much for that. And also, second comment from Shai Chowdhury. I really probably butchered that, and I'm so sorry for the £10. Thanks for the Rat Queen's recommendation last week. I ordered the Deluxe Volume 1 and cannot wait to spend more time with these amazing characters. Volume 2 is on the way.
Well, if you want to spend more time with the Rat Queens, what's funny is I did recommend the Rat Queens to you, but not even the comic book. That wasn't what I was talking about. I was actually recommending you check out the show. We do a show here directly approved by the creator of the comic book.
Yes.
He gave us his good graces and said, it's yours.
Run with it.
And by us, I mean Emily Rose Jacobson, our wonderful GM. She was told by the creator, you have the rights to use my characters and tell whatever story you want to tell. So every Wednesday night on Hyper RPG over on the Twitch end, we do a live improvisational tabletop RPG set in the world of Rat Queens. And I will be a guest on that show tonight. It's a lot of fun. But the comic book's also amazing, and you should definitely check it out.
And if you miss it, if you don't catch the live stream, we have it playing on YouTube every single week. It premieres a few hours before the live show for the new week airs. So if you missed last week's episode, you can now watch it on YouTube. It came out today if you need to get caught up. And, that's how we do it every single week. It's just a nice way for people who are maybe whatever the platform preference is, we just make it accessible to as many people as we can, so then you can jump over to Twitch when it's live and catch up on what's happening in the story.
Mm-hmm. And I will say, for a lot of people on our YouTube who maybe catch up on a couple RPGs or watch some of our content that gets ported over from Twitch, I know why people sometimes have reservations of jumping platforms and stuff like that. And YouTube is massive. We know this. YouTube is massive, so there's a lot more people on it. We see, in general, people who are on Twitch are more likely to also be on YouTube. We see it even within our YouTube chat, like Techie Carrier saying thank you for the donations. He's one of our Twitch mods. So we know people on Twitch also have YouTube accounts. But a lot of YouTube people don't have Twitch accounts.
Yeah.
And a lot of the shows that we make for Twitch have all sorts of interesting interactions, and it's an experience. When you watch it on YouTube, you're only getting half the show. It's just kind of us saying a thank you to their subscribers to have VOD content that they can check out. The majority of what happens live in the room with audience interaction. The chat room's really important, and all of our shows are kind of built around that. So you get a much bigger experience, and you feel like you're a part of the content. That's why we use Twitch, is because of the open API that allows us to make really cool content with chat integration. YouTube doesn't have that ability.
No, they're definitely trying, but it's not there. Twitch has already done it, so Megaloblazemon also points out very correctly, if you've never been to Twitch, it's free to watch live. It's free to watch live. You don't have to pay to watch. It's free. It's free. If you want to interact with the shows, you have the option to. Also got to give a huge shout out to John Vasquez Jr., who tipped $40. Buy some Cali burritos and Comic-Con art. Thank you so much for that.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much for using the super chat. Appreciate it, guys. Whew. Guardians, though, man. Thor 4. I think it's really cool that Thor is the only original Avenger to get 4 movies, and I kind of feel like he's earned it because he started out as probably like the weakest Avenger to a lot of people in terms of how powerful he was, and really grew into something special.
Hope
yeah.
Thor 3, I hope they no longer consider Thor 1, 2, and 3 a trilogy, and it's Thor 3 becomes the start of a new trilogy. Because he redefined the character.
Yeah.
And he redefined the character so well in that movie that
it's like a reboot, basically.
It is. Infinity War and Endgame were like, you know what? This is great.
Yeah.
We're going to stick with this. Thor 1 and 2 still happened and was obviously still important in Infinity War. But the character that you get in Infinity War and Endgame is the character from Ragnarok.
Not only that, I would feel like I think it's fair to say that between Thor 1, Avengers 1, Thor 2, and Avengers 2, that feels like a quadrilogy to Thor's story arc in those first 2 phases. Where I do agree. I think Thor Ragnarok was sort of like, great, let's let Chris Hemsworth and this new filmmaker make it their own. Let's not shy away completely from like the Shakespearean take on Thor, but let's just infuse it with that crazy comic bookness and let's let it be fun. And I think a lot of that also was Chris Hemsworth coming in saying, look, I love Thor, I love the character, but I need to make this more me, otherwise I don't feel like I'm ever going to be able to do this justice. And I think Thor Ragnarok completely changed the game with Thor.
I'm glad we finally got a director who recognized how funny Chris Hemsworth was.
Yeah.
By trying to like shoehorn in jokes in the first one and really bad jokes in the second one. Yeah. The second one has some good moments. I don't hate Thor 2.
Sure.
It's at its worst though when it tries to be funny. It's mainly because the directors were like not knowing how to direct comedy.
It's Alan Taylor, it's Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
You know.
And Waititi comes in and is like, yo, Hemsworth's hilarious. Run with it.
I'll go some jokes for you. Yeah, go some jokes for you.
It was a game changer, though. It was so good. So I hope they just consider 3 the start of a new trilogy, and we get that. And I hope Thor 4. I know it won't happen. I know it won't happen.
Beta Ray
but
Bill?
Somewhere. I don't, honestly, I love Beta Ray Bill. And I love a lot of stuff. And I know that, like, knowing Waititi, he's going to go into the weirdness of Thor, and there's a lot of weird to explore and journey into Mystery's history. Beta Ray Bill being one of them. It's weird. I feel like Waititi would love it. But at the same time, I want to see someone. He's already so close to that track. He lost his eye.
Sure.
Now I want him to lose his arm.
Yeah.
I want him to start building up to the All-Father, and becoming Old Thor and building towards Old Thor.
Sure.
And if you bring me Gore the God Butcher and you set all that up, I mean, you're working with Sony now. You can do it. And if you don't know why I'm saying that, it's because technically Gore the God Butcher uses the same alien, not the exact same one, but the same alien species powers Gore the God Butcher that powers Venom. It's the same alien race that is the symbiote powers Gore the God Butcher.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a good question from Jonathan Glasgow. You should answer that.
Zach, I'm caught up on Kolak 1991, but I need more. When does the next episode drop? Journey onward. Rad. On every Sunday, it drops on YouTube, but it's live every Monday night. And if you missed Monday nights on Twitch, you're going to be really excited about this Sundays. And by really excited, I mean you're going to hate me. You're going to absolutely hate me. So many people sent me really angry tweets. A lot of people really good tweets too, but it's a special episode. It's
Boom.
special. It's a special episode for all the people on YouTube who watch the show.
Dean D'Souza, thank you so much for the $9.99 tip and the super chat on YouTube. This is to get Kaiju some treats to keep him less anxious on his big day.
Aww.
Kaiju, you ready for your big day?
Aww.
You're going to be revealed to the world in live action. He doesn't give a shit. Your dog could not care less about what I have to say.
What do you want to see from Thor 4?
Ooh, good question. I mean, I think Endgame leaves us in such an interesting place with Valkyrie taking over as the leader of Asgard. You know, Thor, where he is in his mental state and how he's dealt now with the events of Infinity War and Endgame. You know, what does that do for him as a character? Obviously, when we end Endgame, we kind of go back to the fun, sarcastic, witty Thor. But I also would like to see a little bit of more of the effects of what's happened. You know, what was Thor up to? I don't necessarily know details of what Thor was up to in terms of the character, but maybe emotionally. You know, where was he? How did he get there? How is he continuing powering through getting better emotionally? Mm-hmm. But I still think that Taika is going to make it big and weird and bombastic. So, and I think that's awesome. Like, I want more of that. I would love to do.
You also mentioned you wanted to find out how Valkyrie was doing running Asgard.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think this would be a good. I think this would be a really good opportunity to do more with Valkyrie in this movie and really establish her as the leader of Asgard. And all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I want to see more of that, more of the cosmic realm. I want Thor to continue doing unexpected things in the universe, especially because of everything that's happened.
Yeah.
You know, the universe has changed now that Thanos is gone and the Avengers are currently no more, really. You know, Cap is retired. Thor has gone off with the Guardians. The Guardians are obviously in space. Iron Man is, spoilers, dead. You know, and we saw sort of what the fallout of that was a little bit with Spider-Man Far From Home. So I think that's the way Marvel sort of has to go. I don't think they're going to be as reliant on Avengers, big tentpole events.
Do you think, because of the timeline of Endgame and Infinity War, these movies they're announcing now, like Thor 4, in old Marvel continuity, like, a lot of time could have passed.
Sure.
But I feel like because Endgame ends in the future, by the time Thor 4 comes out, it's going to feel like present day. Mm-hmm. And like
I agree.
It just picks up right after
we talked about the same thing with Spider-Man.
Yeah, they don't really call to attention that it's like 2021 or something.
Spider-Man, I think it's technically 2024.
Yeah, they don't even call attention to it.
Yeah, because Endgame happens in 2023, the latter part of it.
Yeah, you're right.
And then, you know, they say in the movie we had to repeat the school year, and it's 8 months later. So that, if it's summer 2024, you know, that means that by the time Thor 4 or Spider-Man 3 will come out, we'll have caught up in real time to the actual year when those movies take place now. So that's super, super interesting. Yeah, and I'm curious to see whether or not these other movies that are coming out, we obviously know Black Widow is going to be, set in the past. But I do wonder if they're going to use the 5-year gap and the fallout of what happens in Avengers Infinity War to maybe tell some of these other stories with, like, the Eternals or maybe Captain Marvel 2, what happened. I don't know. I think that it would be interesting for them to mine around in those 5 years, but I wouldn't necessarily want all of Phase 4, except for maybe 2 movies, to exclusively take place in that 5-year gap.
Yeah.
I do at some point, the movies do need to sort of, you know, catch up to us in real time and not rely on that 5-year gap.
I'm sorry, my dad just posted a really long thing in the chat. Okay, hold on. Dad just posted.
Get that bread.
Okay, for the YouTube and
this
Facebook
is amazing.
Viewers, Dad just posted, sorry, folks, just need to break in here. In 1981, I moved to this area of nothingness. I married Karen, and she became a school teacher in this small community and excelled. She became Citizen of the Year. I was now Mr. Karen Eubank. Tonight I go to our local restaurant on the lake to see Zach as front page news of our local paper. I was already asked, aren't you Zach's dad? Okay, new title for me.
Dang. Yo, Dad, you famous. Oh, damn. I hope they comped your dinner. That's amazing.
He's probably talking about the brewery he runs.
All right, come on.
With a collection of his friends.
Look, you made some good choices. I would run a brewery with my friends, too, if I could.
No, Mom sent me the link today. It was hilarious.
That's so good.
They did a front page story in the paper about our trip out to the racetrack to watch the trailer reaction for Hobbs and Shaw.
For Hobbs and Shaw, yeah.
And Mom was like, "Did you see the thing?" I was like, "Yeah, we all got a good laugh out of it." And she's like, "Yep, small town papers." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's a trip."
You hella famous in Middle America.
I don't think that's necessarily true, but yeah.
Zach, you're like a legend in your neck of the woods.
Maybe for the wrong reasons. Lucas is the real legend. We all know that.
I mean, between all of his tweets and photos, I mean, he's got some real zingers. I told him today that my Twitter account is going to exclusively become a Lucas Eubank retweet thread.
Account, yeah.
Amazing.
Well, his Green Arrow tweet today was so good.
Guys, you should go follow Lucas.
Follow Lucas. He
Please.
has the best tweets.
At Lucas Eubank. You will not regret it. It's some good stuff.
Yep. We're going to see Taskmaster in an MCU movie. That's already confirmed. He's going to be in Black Widow.
But it's not David Harbour from what I've heard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I
But
mean, that
who
makes
knows?
sense to me.
Who
He
knows?
shouldn't
Who
be.
knows? Yeah.
He shouldn't be. To me, Taskmaster has to be somebody that's like a little scary and wiry.
Sure.
You know, like somebody that has a charisma. Honestly, I want to see a Kevin Bacon Taskmaster.
Dang.
I want to see a Kevin Bacon Taskmaster.
He's
a little old.
He was great in First Class. I really liked him in First Class.
He was great in Cop Car, dude.
Clown Car, as I like to call it.
Cop Car.
Oh, I call it Clown Car.
Why do you call it Clown Car?
Because I mixed two movies together, Clown and Cop Car. It's the John Watts cinematic universe.
Yeah, there you go. No, he's really good in that. He's a little old to play Taskmaster. I'm trying to think of somebody new, younger, that has that same energy, that has that same kind of, and that's what I mean, like that, a little bit of wiry, a little bit of like you're scared of them just because you can't predict them.
Yeah.
You know, that they have this way about them that's charismatic while also, which in a way Jake Gyllenhaal has that.
Sure.
Yeah. But he's a little different. Like I feel like he was perfect for Mysterio. But he's got a little bit of that energy in there.
Yeah.
I wonder who would be
now.
good,
Now that you've said Kevin Bacon, now I have to see a scene with Star-Lord and Kevin Bacon because I want to know how that's gonna go. That'd be some interesting. You look like I'm not him.
Yeah. Right.
It's kind of the same thing when Nick Fury makes comments about Star Wars, and I'm like, how does that work in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Right.
Is he played by Eddie Murphy in your universe?
I'm going to be thinking about this a lot now because I love Taskmaster. I think he's a great character. I like this idea of this guy nervously. I mean, honestly, if you can see it with me, I imagine the Kevin Bacon / Dennis Hopper type personality, you know? Like, imagine Dennis Hopper from Speed. You know, the guy that's watching the TV, he's studying, he's obsessed with these heroes, and he's got this picture-perfect memory, and he can copy every single thing that he sees, and he takes it upon himself to do something with that. I feel like there's some really good actors from the past, but I might just be ignorant to a lot of the newer actors and what kind of talents they possess. But I'm trying to think of somebody that has that same energy. I don't know.
Same energy.
Same energy. Who's the Dennis Hopper of today? Is there a Dennis Hopper of today?
You're asking them hard questions, my man.
It's tough.
Some hard questions. We're in a very different time.
I love me some Blue Velvet. I love me some Blue Velvet.
God.
Dennis Hopper is the shit. The man was an artist. He was an artist. What's that? Kevin Bacon could play Akira? Is that?
Nice.
Vincent D'Onofrio is close. Also a little too old, though. He's the same. He's probably around the same age as Kevin Bacon, but he's close.
Yeah.
A little too big, too.
Yeah,
too
man.
big.
Oh, man, we rewatched Men in Black not that long ago. He's so good in that movie,
man.
man. He's so good in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Cera as Taskmaster.
Oh, my God. There was a really funny, you know when they do those like lie detector test videos on like GQ or whatever it is? It was Charlize Theron and Seth Rogen promoting their new movie. And Charlize shows him a picture of Michael Cera, and Seth Rogen's like, is this what Michael Cera looks like now? I haven't seen that dude in a couple years. And I looked at the photo, I'm like, man, that does not look like Michael Cera.
You know who I'd like to see as Taskmaster? Who? And I know it's not going to happen. Bill Hader.
I love me some Bill Hader.
Bill Hader could do it. Bill Hader could. After seeing Barry,
I think I got nominated for an Emmy yesterday.
Bill Hader.
That show's good, man.
Yeah.
He's also in the very beginning of Pineapple Express, and I'm like, yeah, this is why I fell in love with Bill Hader, because he's just so funny. So good, so good. Hey, you want to talk about some comics?
We can get there.
Sure.
You wanted to talk about this comic book news.
This comic book news, though, this is some.
Thank you for that tip, by the way, in the Twitch chat.
Even wearing the shirt. John Carpenter is writing a DC comic book.
Yeah?
That's right.
This isn't John Carpenter Presents.
This is John Carpenter, writer, director, producer, cinematographer,
musician,
composer,
composer,
everything, editor.
Now comic book writer.
How
old is he?
John Carpenter is like in his 70s, I think.
Yeah, never too old.
Never too old. So I'm a little surprised that more people were not talking about this when this was announced. And I honestly think that it just wasn't pushed out there enough. Because once people discovered it and people saw it, I tweeted about it. People didn't see it, and then people saw it, and they were like, oh my God, did you see this? I'm like, I tweeted this 4 hours ago. But I am so excited about this. I was reading a John Carpenter Presents book a couple months ago when we were doing on one of the previous episodes. I forget exactly, Tales from the something. And it's good, but it's definitely more of a John Carpenter Presents. I'm so excited to have him actually writing a Joker story. So Carpenter's The Joker, Year of the Villain #1 will be part of DC Comics' Year of the Villain event, in which Lex Luthor makes every villain and some heroes in the DC universe an offer they can't refuse. So it's going to be a limited series. I think it's...
Be a part of the offer, huh?
Yeah, I think it's 6... I believe it's 6 issues. And he's writing it with... So Carpenter will co-write the 40-page issue with Borderlands 2 writer Anthony Birch. The two previously collaborated on Big Trouble in Little China, Old Man Jack, a 6-issue miniseries about Jack Burton's final ride in the Pork Chop Express. So this is coming out later this year. I believe the first issue comes out in September. They did release some cover art. It looks amazing.
Creepy. Do you want me to pull it up?
Yeah, can you? It looks really, really cool. I'm just very excited to see John Carpenter dip his toes into some comic books. I'm very interested to see what he does with the Joker character, obviously because of the types of movies that Carpenter has made. We all know he can make scary stuff on screen. I'm interested to see how he adapts scary stuff into a comic book form, because it's kind of unlimited with what you can do as long as you stay within the parameters of the rating system. So I don't know. I'm excited to see. What do you think about this? You like Carpenter, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Thing is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah,
so
baby.
Good. I mean, I'm curious. I hope the editors are on him.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like sometimes when older individuals who never wrote comics come into comic books, they have great ideas, but they may not understand the format very well. Because I do think writing for comics is an art.
Yeah.
It's an art form that people spend a lifetime practicing. Yeah. Not to say that people can't jump into it and do an amazing job. A lot of people have. But usually with people like this who are set in other ways, like if the editor's on them and can help shape those ideas into a good story, it helps a lot. Because comics are different. They're very different.
Absolutely.
They're very different. And you have to just convey the right amount of information with the least amount of information. And but I'm confident because Carpenter's a genius. So.
Yeah. And I think also, obviously they've already previously written a book together, so they have some experience. I think that helps. And I do think, DC has, and I'm sure Marvel has too, but DC has had directors like Richard Donner did a Superman book. So I think they understand how to work with filmmakers about telling these stories that are obviously told in a different way than a traditional script. So I think if they didn't feel confident about it, I would hope that they would say, you know what, we don't feel good about this, but maybe let's revisit this later on. JJ is now doing Spider-Man. He's doing a limited issue run with his son on Spider-Man. So I like that. I like seeing filmmakers come into these comic book worlds and do something with the character. I don't know how different it's going to be from what we traditionally know as the Joker, what it's going to necessarily add to the Joker lore, but also obviously it's going to have some sort of an impact on this event story, and I'm interested to see what that is and the artwork that's going to accompany it. I don't know how much input Richard Donner necessarily had on the books that he was doing when he was doing Action Comics, but it would be really cool if Carpenter, being the creator that he is and having a very directors and cinematography awareness and a very much like he understands imagery and all that sort of stuff, to see if he's going to maybe try to sprinkle a little bit of his influence into the panels. And maybe that could be really cool, but we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. I'm interested to see what they do. But I like the idea of filmmakers coming and doing comics, just like I'm excited for Tom King to go off and write New Gods with Ava DuVernay. I'm excited to see how all these things play out. And if that's going to maybe be the trajectory for DC Comics and DC movies.
It's a great way to market.
Really integrating both worlds together and saying, like, look, we've got movie writers, but we also have comic book writers coming in and really punching these up and really giving you the flavor of the books.
You know what would be really
so you
cool?
understand the characters well.
Marvel reaching out to Sam Raimi to do Spider-Man 4 as a comic book.
And maybe just not, like, trolling people on Twitter, you know what I'm saying?
That'd be really cool.
I'm surprised they haven't done that yet, to be completely honest, because I feel like he knew what he wanted to do with that story.
Script,
yeah, so we'll see. I just want to give a huge shout out to Sean Juarez, who tipped us $1 in the super chat. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. You guys are helping keep Hyper alive.
Another little bit of comic book news I would like to talk about is that Amazon picked up Paper Girls.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's extremely exciting. I've been
Amazon's
waiting for something like
diving
this to happen for a long time.
Yeah.
Paper Girls is ripe for television.
Mm-hmm.
It is so ripe. It could be their Stranger Things if they played their cards right. You haven't read Paper Girls yet, right?
I have not.
It is kind of what we need right now.
Okay.
It is so friggin' good.
Yeah.
It's a group of young girls in the 80s going on a crazy time-traveling adventure, and it's really great.
Look, you say 80s and time traveling, I think of Back to the Future, and I'm like, I'm in.
It's so good. It's so good.
Awesome.
Paper Girls is an amazing book with some awesome world building. I'm a little nervous, though. Amazon, to me, has a little bit of a reputation of shooting for the things that Netflix does, but just kind of missing the mark.
Sure.
It feels like, the Showtime to HBO, there's just like a little bit missing. Just a little, that little missing element. When you watch Philip K. Dick's kind of do Android's Dream of Electric Sheep series on Amazon, and then you compare it to, say, any of the sci-fi stuff that Netflix has done that's been successful, you can just kind of see those things that are missing. Like there's a quality control aspect that gets left out. Sometimes Amazon knocks it out of the park. Too Old to Die Young, I thought, was a cinematic achievement for Amazon, but so weird and so out of left field, most people aren't going to watch it.
Right.
It's freaking dark and weird and gross. Great filmmaking. Really cool that they let somebody do that, but a lot of their shows just feel a little bit missing. So I'm excited to see what they do. It could, if they play their cards right, be their Stranger Things, though. It could be, like, so many good things for them. It's really great. The book is amazing.
Nice. Is it weird to me that all the chat that we're seeing in your little window over there is just Twitch, but the chat room on my phone keeps moving?
Really?
Yeah, why is that?
Is it just? I think it's just because the Twitch one's moving a lot faster.
Oh, so
the
pushing
messages
it out?
push the Twitch. I mean, because you can see what's your last message on YouTube.
Can we talk about how good Adam's Seth Rogen impression was?
Yeah, that was there.
Oh, dang.
It's just Twitch chat's moving a lot faster. There's a lot more people talking.
Dang. Y'all need to stay on that.
They're all together in the Twitch.
Y'all need to stay on that chat room. You're getting tuned out over here.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan to play Norman Osborn would be good. That is a good
That's
call.
a good one. That's a good one.
Call.
I like that one.
I had a thought, and maybe I should save this for an elevator pitch. I don't know. But hear me out. Hear me out.
They don't even know what that is.
Hear me out. Tom Cruise is Norman Osborn.
Look, I'm a Tom Cruise fan, so
I think, personally, if someone can bring the energy Tom Cruise has as a real person, which is fucking crazy, to the screen like they did in Tropic Thunder, bring a little bit of that. Bring a little bit of that energy out, while still being Tom Cruise. You've got a guy who can go there, who you can believe is this charismatic, everyone loves him businessman. Like, the whole world is like, this is our guy.
Yeah.
This is a lovable guy, but something's a little off.
Yep.
Something's just a little off about him. And you can't quite place it. Probably the Scientology. There's just something there that you're like, I respect this guy. He's likable as hell, but something's not right.
Yeah.
And then he can do the stunts. He can do all the cool shit. He's still the Green Goblin. I'm going to say Tom Cruise is Norman Osborn.
I'll be very honest with you. When there were rumors about Tom Cruise potentially playing Lex Luthor, I was secretly into it.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, because he is so charming, charismatic, and people can love him. At the same time, he could be building and doing some really crooked shit in the background. Like, I could literally, Edge of Tomorrow was basically Lex Luthor in a power suit.
Yeah.
And he would play that so well, I think. So I'm not against that.
I like how people can see Huck, but what they can't see is that these two boys are sleeping together.
What's up, boys?
So you see the tail of Kaiju. Huck's right next to him.
That's not Huck's tail.
These two baby boys are just sitting here sleeping on the couch together.
Baby boys.
Cute little
Cushion
dogs.
Brothers.
Oh, cute little dogs.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise overhyped. He ruined the Mummy. I wouldn't say he ruined the Mummy.
No, the Mummy.
I don't think he ruined the Mummy.
The Mummy is a very problematic movie.
Lots of reasons.
Lots of reasons. Rest in peace, that monster universe.
I think Tom Cruise has a lot more in him after seeing Fallout, and people just need to use him right. And you know what? What makes me really confident Tom Cruise can do it? Go back and watch Magnolia and come back and talk to me.
Yeah.
Go back and watch that character
Yeah.
be one of the slimiest and darkest, weird kind of things you've seen on screen, and then still make you feel for him when he sits there with his dad at the end. Like, Magnolia made me go, okay, there's a Tom Cruise in here that a lot of people aren't using.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I'm a little sad that Christopher McQuarrie's Green Lantern Superman team-up movie, it wasn't Henry Cavill and Tom Cruise.
Right?
Because I would have ate it up. I'd have been so into that, man.
Oh, man.
Would have been awesome.
All right, so maybe we should finally talk about comic books. Is it that time of the stream where we finally actually talk about comic books?
Wonderful time.
There was all of my indie books that I like drop on the same day. This happens every month, and I'm like, there's too much. There's too much. Hardly any good DC books this week. A couple, though, but not too many. Lots of Image and indie books dropped this week that are right up there, to the point that I didn't get to read all of them. There was just so many. So many. We're going to jump right into it.
Jumping in.
I didn't even get a chance to read Trout, the Hollowest Knock #2. The first one was a surrealist mind trip. It was really cool. All over the place. Didn't get a chance to check this one out. There's just too much.
Yeah.
There was too much that came out this week. I am excited to check it out, though. The first one was a real trip. And like I said, this is a book that's been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
It's an anthology series. Very surreal. Very weird. I'm excited to check this one out.
That's Zach's jam, is what he's saying.
They Call Us Enemy came out from George Takei today.
We talked about that with Malik a couple weeks ago.
We did, and I really wanted to read it today. I didn't know it was 240 pages.
Yeah. You said that because I was going through and I was like, cool, I want to read this because I want to know what it is because we talked about it a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
And then you're like, it's over 200 pages. And I went, I'm not going to finish that in time.
It's a lot. It's a big book. Now, obviously, George Takei told the story, and a writer, an artist kind of adapted the story. But I really dig this style. I think this is an awesome style. I'm excited to read this book, and I will be reading this week.
Yeah.
This is not one that I'm going to let slip by me. It's happening. Wow. I think it's an important book for right now.
Yeah.
I think this is a conversation that needs to be had. It's stuff that we need to... we need to talk about.
Oh, wow. It really is like
his story.
A day in the life.
Yeah, it's his story.
That's really interesting.
So, yeah, I'm excited to check it out.
I love the art style.
Oh, man. I don't know too much. I mean, I obviously know about his story, and I'm excited to dive deeper into it because I don't know enough about his story.
Sure. I think doing it through a comic book, I, for example, am not the biggest fan of reading just words on a page. I get a little bored. Doing a comic book that's somewhat of like a biographical look at this person's life, to me, is a very fun and interesting new way of understanding who that person is. Which I'm sure if it's 200 pages, then I would assume that a lot of it is like because we want to put depth in there.
Yeah.
So
I had a question just pop up in the Twitch chat. What used tablet should I get to get into digital comics? Personally, I hear from a lot of people that the Amazon Fire tablets are really great for reading comic books because they're cheap. You can link it directly to your Amazon account, which is Comixology.
Right.
And that it's an easy process, and a lot of people dig it. All right, Star Wars TIE Fighter. You checked this one out, right?
I did. It's issue 4 or 5, so it's the penultimate issue of this series. I have not read the first 3, so I'm kind of going into it in the middle
Does it stand
of the
on
story.
its own?
It's fine. I mean, it's very fine. There's like 2 young cadets who basically are exceptionally good fighter pilots in their squad, and because of the surrounding events of what's been happening, all these Imperial officers are sort of being pulled all over the place, and they've been losing a lot of officers at the same time. So these 2 young cadets basically get put on a team. While that's happening, while they're explaining the relationship of these 2 characters and sort of what their role is going to potentially be in this 4th and 5th issue, you are transported back to other Imperial higher-ranking officers, who are talking about someone who potentially is either a traitor to the Empire, or divulge information about the Empire's next move while the Empire is trying to chase down the rebels. But there's still not enough sort of like I would have to go read the first 3 to understand, great, where are we going in issue 5? As a standalone, it's fine, but I really do think you need the first 3 issues to understand, like, what the hell are we leading to?
So is this one of those books you think people should wait for the volume?
Yeah,
all 5 collection. And that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get really bummed when I pick up a single issue and I'm like, whoa, this is really good.
Yeah.
This is an issue made for volumes.
Totally.
Some comics are definitely the creators thinking about when it comes out as one solid story.
Yeah.
And it makes that's one of the parts I like and dislike the most about comic books. I like weekly books or monthly books.
Yeah.
But when you do get certain writers and artist teams who are like, I need to see this story in a volume setting, it does feel a little strange that they even come out in that kind of instance. Whereas, like, for instance, when Hickman was doing Avengers and New Avengers, those books were so hard to read issue to issue. So difficult. But when the volumes came out and you got it in one chunk of each part of the story, amazing. But when you took his Black Monday Murders, each individual issue really stood on its own, and it was okay to read individually, and I got so excited every time a new one was dropping.
Yeah.
So I guess it depends on the book.
Yeah, it really, really does depend, and it does feel like these are 5 issues that Marvel, would hope that, cool, if people really love this potential part of the universe, then there's an opportunity to experience 5 issues of this, like, one little nugget of story in the Star Wars universe. But if you're just going to randomly go into issue 4, you're like, okay, cool, I get to meet these new cadets, I get a little bit of, like, context as to what is happening, but I don't understand the bigger picture of this story. And maybe if this is tied into other Star Wars comics, then maybe that helps. But as someone just jumping into TIE Fighter, I'm like, great, this is a cool look at 2 cadets who want to become the best fighter pilots in the Empire, and we're talking about defecting Imperial troops and all that sort of stuff, but it's not enough for you to get an understanding of what's going on.
And that is Star Wars TIE Fighter 2019, number 4 of 5. All right. Did you get a chance to read this?
I did read this.
Oh, okay.
So
what'd you think?
They've
Teen
introduced
Titans, number 32.
Yes. So they've introduced a character into the DC Comics called Crush.
Lobo's daughter.
Lobo's daughter. This is the first issue of this run that I've read that's had Crush. From my understanding of what's happening in the story, Crush is on basically being hunted down by Lobo, and his mission is to destroy the Teen Titans. And I think what it seems like, his hope seems to be that he wants to recruit his daughter to help him kill the Titans. So when we meet her and the Titans, she's been in a big battle, it seems, with Lobo, and the Titans have sort of regrouped and they're trying to figure out, great, what do we do? How do we get away from Lobo? What's the objective? What's our mission? How are we navigating this whole situation? And then Lobo comes back, and he is just trying to kill the Titans, potentially kill his daughter if he has to. At the same time, the Titans are trying to plot out, how do we defeat Lobo? Do we kill him? Do we not kill him? There are some characters that are in this book that I have never heard of before. We have Kid Flash, we have Robin, but there's some of these other side characters that I'm not sure what universe they're from, whether they're from the main continuity or whether they're from alternate universes or from space. But I liked this issue. It was really cool to sort of see Lobo in a different way from what I'm used to either previously reading or experiencing from animation, for example. Lobo was so kind of like the lone fighter who was just always on a quest by himself, but now he's got a daughter in the picture, and this daughter doesn't necessarily want to kill Lobo, but she wants to understand what their relationship is supposed to be. She doesn't know who her mother is, so it's asking a lot of questions that I think could be interesting if they really follow through with it. There's some really fun action sequences with the Titans fighting Lobo, them thinking that they've potentially tranquilized him and got him down, when in fact they don't, because he's Lobo. And there are some other characters that use their power sets to do different things in the issue, but I liked it. I was into it. It got me invested enough that now I want to understand, okay, who is Crush? At what point in the Titans book did she come in? How long has this situation been happening? I'm going to now go back and find out sort of what the story is. Then there's a cool teaser at the end, and I'm interested to find out how that plays off. And this is also a tie into A Year of the Villain. So
of the author.
Yeah, I'm interested. I liked it a lot, and I want to know more about Crush.
That's right.
Yeah, it was a fun book.
Lobo's always someone I've had an issue placing how powerful they are.
Yeah.
And, like, I feel like Lobo's one of those characters that gets thrown around to kind of be a nuisance when a nuisance is needed.
Yeah.
And I have such a hard time understanding where they fall on the power scale, how much of a threat they actually are. Because sometimes it feels like he's a huge threat to even Superman. Other times it feels like Batman's able to take care of him no problem.
Yeah, and they talk about that in this issue because they're doing everything they can to try to take him down, and they're pummeling him and throwing things at them. He's like, guys, I thought Superman. You can't just take me down that easily. Well, if we have to, we'll kill you. I can't die. So it's like, okay,
like, who are you?
Yeah, like what exactly is Lobo supposed to be? You know, what are his power sets? Yeah, and I think if you're not someone who's a common reader of DC or Teen Titans or this run, then I think that they do need to make people understand who is Lobo. He's on Krypton now, and I'd be curious to watch the tail end of 1 and now into season 2, understand what's their take on Lobo and how is he different from maybe this Lobo that's currently happening in Titans. But yeah, it was a really fun issue.
Because sometimes even in the cartoons they just establish him as a bounty hunter.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, what does that even mean though?
Yeah.
Like, how is he so strong?
Exactly.
Like, what is his deal?
I would say compared to the TIE Fighter issue, this was a really fun, just like single issue that gave me enough context that even though I have not read anything before, oh crap, I understand exactly what's happening here.
Yeah.
Now I'm interested to go back and find out how we got to this point. So it was a strong issue. I liked it.
Speaking of single issues that work really well on their own,
I wanted to read this.
Spider-Man Life Story number 5 of 6. Now I understand this says 5 of 6. I've also really disliked a lot of the past versions of Life Story. Didn't like them. I didn't like who Peter was in those. I actually really liked this one. This is the first one outside of the first one that I actually really, really like. And maybe it's just because it's a retelling of my favorite era of Spider-Man, which was the early 2000s and the mid-2000s. But we get Moreland in there. We get the, if you didn't read the last one, number 4 out of 6, that one took place in the 90s, and that handled the Clone Saga in an interesting way. And the idea behind this book is Chip Zdarsky is taking Spider-Man as if he was a real person who got his powers in the 60s, and now you're growing up with him.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like, here's Spider-Man at each era, but as if he was still the same person who's aging in real time.
Wow.
So
that's cool. I like that.
In the 90s one, Mary Jane had left him. He had a kid. And he starts Parker's Industries, and then he finds out he's got a clone, and they find the Jackal and all this stuff, and it's like the whole Clone Saga thing, a take on that. But he finds out at the end, he tells Ben Reilly that he's the real Peter Parker and that he's actually the clone, but he lied, which is another shitty thing for him to do. And a lot of Chip Zdarsky's Peter Parker in the past issues is a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it. But he tells Ben Reilly, you're the real Peter Parker. You go run Parker Industries. You be Peter. And be Spider-Man, and he retreats off into Portland, Oregon with his wife, Mary Jane, to raise his kids. This picks up in the mid-2000s, 2005, 2006, and Peter Parker, the real one, is in Portland. He's an electrician, and he has 2 teenage kids, and he's with Mary Jane, but Moreland kills Ben Reilly.
So when you say that each issue is a piece of like, so basically, what I'm asking is, if it starts in the 60s, is every book like a decade's worth?
Yeah.
Okay,
kind of.
Sure.
Sometimes it
a little skewed.
This one is pretty much like 2005, 2006 because it also ties in Civil War. This one.
So it's not necessarily a decade's worth of time. It might be like a piece within that decade.
In that 2000s.
Gotcha. That's cool. I dig that.
So in that regard, in this one, for instance, they had already brought Tony Stark into play in the 90s one because he was running Parker's Industries, and Tony Stark was his biggest rival.
Yeah.
And now you have Tony Stark, who is the Secretary of Defense and the one that pushed through the Registration Act. And so you get like old Hawkeye in this one, old Luke Cage, old Captain America, and old Peter Parker all fighting to stop Tony Stark, while also Moreland is hunting him down and trying to kill him. This was probably my favorite one out of Life Story so far. It felt like it had the most heart, and finally Peter standing for something, when I feel like the last 3 or 4 issues of this, Peter's been a real jerk and hasn't really felt like Spider-Man, and just kind of like, what are you even doing here? You're not Spider-Man. And he really felt like Spider-Man in this one. So
awesome.
I would recommend it. Now, maybe my book of the week, and as long as this book is being published, it might be my book of the week.
I started reading this, and then I thought, Zach read it. I'm going to let him do the whole pitch on this thing, because it's so good.
But it's so freaking good. I mean, we're just going to click
It's
read
so
and just
beautiful.
we're just going to put it on a page. We're going to click read and just put it on a page. Oh, look at that. Freaking beautiful, man. This art, Trad Morta's killing it. He's freaking killing it. This is the pairing.
So good.
It's such a good pairing.
It's so good.
The writing paired with the art and the sequential storytelling in this is just, this is going to be one of those books that wins all the awards.
Yeah.
It's only a 5-issue run.
It's beautiful, man. I mean, and like, look, everyone knows this. This is doing the show is the most comics I've probably read in the last 10, 15 years. Zach showed the first issue to me, and I like, my jaw dropped because I was like, there's just something about the style and the look and the feel and the organicness, but also the creativity and the color and the composition. It's amazing. It's so good.
It's
so
really,
good.
really good. Tradmore is on another freaking
Look at that
level.
Look at that. Look at the arms.
I feel like I'm like,
that's amazing.
It's one of those books that I feel like as I'm reading, I want to be like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? We should read these while we go drifting in cars.
Right?
It's amazing.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Now, the cool thing about this is it ties directly into a lot of things that Marvel's been building, especially in its cosmic line. In fact, one of the volumes that dropped today is Donny Cates' Thanos run, which directly ties into this story about Silver Surfer. So it all works together.
That's cool.
And if you're reading his Venom run, it directly ties into this as well. Because this is Venom's god right here. This is Null, the Dark God, which is where Venom's symbiote comes from. It's where Gore the God Butcher gets his powers. This is from that sword.
Nice.
It's where Malekith and like they're tying it all together. Like
sure.
And Malekith's sword that he has at the end of War of the Realms is also all driven by Null here.
Oh wow!
Which is interesting because Null has kind of come out of freaking nowhere, and now he's become a huge big bad.
Yeah,
which makes me wonder, Marvel, what are you building here? Marvel, what are you doing? Usually when you do this, you're like testing something out. You're building something up for the higher ups, and it makes me wonder.
Interesting. Yeah. So how often has this character been featured in comics? Because I'm very unfamiliar with this character.
It's all within like the last 2 years, man.
Oh wow! Okay.
It was first mentioned in the Gore the God Butcher run. And
that's
it was
amazing.
I know, it's so cool.
What?
It was first mentioned in the Gore the God Butcher run from Jason Aaron. That was maybe now even almost 10 years ago. But it was mentioned lightly and in passing.
Okay.
Donny Cates took that, picked it up, and then brought it into Venom. And had to do a little bit of retconning because they tried when Venom was a member of Guardians of the Galaxy, they tried building that out as like Venom was his symbiote was a like space police kind of thing.
Okay.
They kind of did some retconning there or just made it like this happened earlier.
Sure.
And brought in Null in that book and made him Venom's god basically. And he's been throwing him in now to like the Thanos run, the Silver Surfer run, Guardians of the Galaxy, all this stuff. Like it all just kind of keeps coming back around and keeps being an important part of the story.
Interesting.
The Dark God.
But damn, this artwork. Look at that Silver Surfer. It's so good. Oh my God.
Silver Surfer Black is... It's just unreal. And there's a real surprise guest at the end of the book, and I don't want to show you that page. I don't want to ruin it for you. There's a surprise page at the end that sets up the next issue that's pretty cool. This book's amazing. It's amazing. It's great writing. It's great art. You can't go wrong with it. It's one of those books that, like I said, will win all the awards.
What is this? Silver Surfer Black?
Yep. You would love it.
I'm going to put it.
Yep.
Silver Surfer.
I know. They're already quoting it in the chat, Malika. Like they've already quoted it. You're a broken record at this point.
Dang.
Get some new bits.
Dang. Bro, you're going to be sleeping downstairs in the garage.
Whatever.
Kaichi, you're going to be sleeping in the bed luxuriously.
So, Road of Bones number 3. I've been enjoying this book, but I didn't have time to pick up this one just yet.
Oh, okay.
I will check it out, though. I'm excited to keep up with it. It's a Russian horror story about some guys that escape out of prison, and they end up having to eat each other.
Did you flip through this?
Not yet.
Oh, because I clicked on it, but it like jumped into a certain page, so I thought, oh, Zach must have read this.
I haven't read it yet.
Oh, interesting.
No, I haven't
okay.
read it yet. Resonant number 1. This book surprised me. This came out from Vault, which is a publisher I haven't read too much in. The art is phenomenal. I'm gonna pull this up for you all, and we're gonna click through a couple pages.
Yeah.
And it was a cool story too. It's about this family at trying to survive after the apocalypse. And what I'll do here, I won't tell you too much. We'll skim through, and then I'll go to the last page and read what the artist says it's about, because the writer says it's about. They wait till the end.
I really like the logo art.
There's a lot of cool stuff in this.
Yeah.
The use of the bugs, the logo tying into the sound stuff, but I dig the art a lot. I think the art's really cool.
Yeah.
It gives you a lot of vibe. I mean, you have this girl. Once you find out what happened, and you go back to this first panel, and you're like, oh shit. Oh, that's so sad. Her family probably tore her leg off. You know, like there's a thing that's happening in there that you're just like,
damn. Damn.
Okay, so I'm going to go to the end here, and I'll read off what the artist says it, or the writer says it's about. I don't know why I keep saying artist. Okay. A decade has passed since the first waves hit, unleashing humanity's darkest impulses and plunging the world into chaos. Paxton, a single father of 3, must venture from the secluded haven that they've built to restore to restock the medicine his chronically ill youngest son needs to survive. When the somewhat routine trip goes awry, Paxton and his children, now separated, will battle everything in their path to reunite. So the part that's not explaining is these bugs. When he goes off to leave the house to find this medicine, he puts a lot of these cicadas in a jar. And then he runs into this other guy on the road, and the guy begs him for one of his cicadas. Because apparently these cicadas, whatever frequency that's traveling in the air that makes human beings lose control of themselves, and they turn into monsters, basically. Not like actual monsters.
Sure.
They just they go crazy.
Yeah.
Like 28 Days Later kind of thing. The cicadas are an early warning system. They resonate with that frequency, and the cicadas are kind of an early warning system. So when they start going off, the dad immediately just sits down on the road and he starts to meditate to try to keep himself calm as this wave of energy goes over them.
Okay.
Really cool.
I'm in. You sold me.
Yeah, really cool book.
I like the art.
Really
yeah.
great. And it was like the way they revealed what was happening, I thought was really smart.
Oh, nice.
And the way the story sets up. Like I said, at the very end when I figured out, the energy makes people crazy and they like hurt each other, and then you go back to that first panel and see she's missing her leg, you're like, oh no. Because they're all out there by themselves.
Dang.
And the kids know the warning system.
Yeah.
So when the cicadas in their basement all start going off, they start strapping each other, these kids, they strap each other down to their beds. And one of the kids wasn't making it in time, so she hung herself upside down. It's crazy.
What the hell?
It's really cool.
Huck, you hear that? Doesn't care.
Really good book.
Dang, that sounds
I suggest
interesting.
checking it out. Came out of nowhere. I started checking out this book, Retrograde #1. Wasn't really my style.
Okay.
It might be for some people. It's kind of a military, very gung-ho, old military type book. It's another end-of-the-world situation where a virus has been spread, turning people into dinosaurs and monsters, and the military is fighting to keep them together.
Yeah.
This guy's wife is out on a mission or something, gets captured by a religious cult leader, and yada, yada, yada. It just wasn't really my style. It didn't really hook me.
Sounds a little vanilla. A little bit.
Some people may really enjoy it.
Exactly.
It's fun. It's pulpy. It's very pulp.
Okay.
It's very pulp.
Okay, then I when it's that sort of when it has like a style like that, then I'm more open and willing.
Yeah.
To give it a
the
shot.
book I was talking about a little bit ago was Resonant #1. This one's Retrograde. Port of Earth #12. I've been talking about Port of Earth ever since I got hooked on it.
Port of Earth.
It's great.
Yeah.
This one had some real punches. I feel like a lot of the books I read this week were ending of volumes, and they had some hard-hitting endings. Port of Earth #12 had a hard-hitting ending. It felt like the end of a volume. It ended a story. So I don't want to reveal anything.
Yeah.
My favorite part of this book is the interview with the alien and the reporter sitting at a table, and it's a TV interview.
Does it feel very District 9?
No, it's like the alien belittles human beings and thinks we're stupid. And this reporter is really smart, and she's kind of cornering him, and she's being a great interviewer and cornering him into situations to make him say things to reveal his intentions.
Yeah.
And it's really well written, and those are some of my favorite scenes because you can feel the arrogance of this alien leader who's controlling the port, and how they're just using humans as basically a trade route.
Right.
And they'll do whatever they have to keep human beings in line. And it deals a lot with how misinformation gets spread through the government and through media. I feel like the undertones of that is the current theme in this book, where it's this foreign operation that's using our media against us.
I loved just the premise. Just the idea that Seattle is this, like, port, basically, for aliens is so fascinating to me. I really need to go back and just read them all.
It's a real, like, fun book. I'm enjoying it. So here's something I wanted us to all look at together. Sure. The House of X, Powers of X preview. I wanted us to all check this out together. So we're going to do that. It's 36 pages, and we're going to look at it right now together. Hickman's X-Men Revealed. So let's check this out.
This is Yo Jam.
This was free, by the way, on Comixology. This is a free pickup, probably free at your local comic book store as well.
X-Men Revealed.
The Seeds of Tomorrow. House of X #1, Powers of X, which is Powers of 10, I believe.
Right.
Powers of 10, House of X. All right. I like the most important scene in the history of the X-Men. Okay, when he posted this on Twitter, I thought this was a preview and there were going to be words here. And now that he's posted it again and there are no words, it makes me look at this completely differently. And I have to start realizing, okay, you're trying to tell me subtle things here. Changing the color of the background, the look on Xavier's face.
Yeah.
And who is this? Who is the girl? Damn it, Hickman. Damn it, Hickman.
Damn you, son.
All right, you want to read this out?
Oh, sure. Do you want the guy with the bad vision to read it? Cool.
Okay, I'll read it.
Okay.
So I was walking to the Marvel offices on the day I was supposed to present my X-Men plans to all the writers and editors at a Marvel retreat. And about halfway to the office, I realized I had a stupid grin on my face. Now, normally I'm all business when pitching because the room is full of jackals and things can go sideways pretty quickly. But on that day, there was no chance of me maintaining any sort of game face. I was having too much fun. And to be completely honest, the fun, the joy of writing the X-Men hasn't stopped any time since then. What you're holding in your hand, or what we're reading here online, is a preview magazine. Inside is, I'm sure, a bunch of cover art, some sample pages, and I think there might be an interview or two. But the thing I'd like for you to keep in mind while reading it is it's impossible to convey the most important aspect of what we're about to unleash in the X-Universe. What can you take from it? Is the art beautiful? It sure is. Pepe Larraz, R.B. Silva, and Marte Garcia are doing a phenomenal job. Can you get some sense of the story? Maybe. We sure don't want to ruin the experience of actually reading the books when they come out, but totally, this works.
Tonally,
this works. Does the story matter? Absolutely. I'm not going anywhere for the next several years. This is the beginning of big things.
Oh my God.
That's awesome. But the thing this magazine cannot convey, and this is the most important aspect of what we're doing, is that this is a return to the way things are supposed to be. That the X-Men matter again. And for that, I'm afraid we're going to have to wait for the real thing.
Dang.
House of X and Powers of 10 ship at the end of July. And at the end of July, the next great era of X-Men comics begin. And I will be here, grinning ear to ear, making it for you.
Okay, first question immediately. Well, not even a question. I'm going to make this statement. This sounds like I wouldn't be surprised if Marvel Studios is going to use this to reboot X-Men into the MCU.
We'll see.
That just the way that he has described several years of being on this, working on this book. Ooh,
I'm not going anywhere for years.
I want to read this so bad now that he said that. That looks so good.
I love this. We got Xavier up on his legs.
Yeah.
Ooh, we're getting something here. Look at this. We're getting something. All right, what do we got here? The Gray Malkin Habitat, Westchester, New York. We got Jean up here. Can anyone travel through the gateway, Miss Gray? What's the gateway? I love that it's bold. It's important.
No. Not. Oh.
Oh, God. No, there's already so many. This because the cover shows this gateway, too.
Yeah. No, not yet. Any mutant can, of course. Krakoa recognizes its own.
Oh, Krakoa made a gateway.
But anyone or anything that isn't a mutant must be accompanied by one. And even then, we have to ask for permission. You see, Krakoa is very protective, and it's always important to have good manners.
Wait, they're right. Miss Gray.
Sure. Sure. We're establishing things a little differently. Okay, here we go. Just talk through, and walk through, and we'll be on the island.
Incoming, Sandra Oh, Wrench. Incoming, Robert Wynn, Sonus Rex. Incoming, Sean Cassidy, Banshee. Incoming, Desmond Ocho Diaz, Fauna. Incoming, Jean Grey, Marvel Girl.
The interface has a counter at 12, Cypher. Can you confirm?
Cypher, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Bring it. checks out with Krakoa. See, I told you it would work, Sage. Oh man, my little X heart is beating right now. My little X heart. Bring them all together. Bring them all together.
Oh my God.
Give me that fucking Hickman goodness.
Last week you built an entire system to manage the traffic of Krakoa network from scratch.
And how cool was that?
Coded in a language only you and the island can speak, and bioengineered to run on light and not electricity. Yeah, I can't believe I doubted you.
It's time to give it the program, Sage. You need to bury all that cynicism and replace it with good old-fashioned hope. Hope's bold. That's a cut there. A little deep cut. The professor has changed all the old rules. And we've entered a whole new world. Holy shit.
Whoa! Oh shit, I just blew out the headset.
What do we this is Utopia? What is this?
That's cool.
Whoa.
Yeah. That does about cover it. That's awesome. The plan is for most of the younger mutants to live in the habitat near the lagoon. But there really aren't any rules regarding that. So if you see somewhere else you'd rather be, that's perfectly fine.
Wow. Look, that's Professor Xavier over there with that hairy guy.
Yes. Why don't you go introduce yourself? And the hairy guy's name is Logan.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, damn.
Oh, this is great.
Wow.
I'm already really digging this.
What the
so
hell?
Krakoa's probably built like an island within the island, maybe? Like Krakoa maybe has like a habitat within Krakoa.
Interesting.
So it used to be the Jean Grey Institute for Higher Learning. After Xavier died, and in Wolverine and the X-Men, Krakoa was what the entire school was on. The mutant Krakoa.
Okay.
Oh, look at that. It's kids playing with Logan. And Xavier looking like scary, fantastic Reed Richards from the Ultimate Universe.
When I first saw it, I thought it was Cyclops with a redesigned visor, now a helmet.
I know, right? But no, it's just,
It's
like...
X,
which is, yeah, as much as Hickman loves Richards, it doesn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you looking like that? What's up, Miss Marvel? Welcome home, Jean. To be continued in House of X #1, on sale July 24th, 2019. Available in print and digital.
To find a comic shop near you, visit comicshoplocator.com.
Yo, bro, that's next week.
Oh, shit, it is.
That's next week, bro.
Oh, damn.
We're going to find out all this stuff next week. That's really great.
Good.
Look at that. Face the Future, July 2019. So, yeah, that's Krakoa. Now we know that's Krakoa around Xavier.
That's really cool.
All right. This is great. I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped. Look, I'm not even kidding. Hickman's Avengers run is one of my favorite things ever done to Marvel Comics. And at the time, it felt so dumb at times. Where I was just like, what is he doing? Why is he doing this? But at the end of it all, I go back and I read it every year. Every time a new Avengers movie's coming out, I go back and read it too. Because it's just so expansive and forward-thinking and reinventing. I love it. I love it.
Face the future. All will be revealed.
All right, look at that. Marvel Comics Next Big Thing panel, Saturday, July 20th at San Diego Comic-Con.
Now I feel like I should go to this panel. Just don't be at 5:15 at the same time as the Marvel Studios panel, please. Thank you.
Why would they do that? Marvel and Marvel at the same time?
You would be surprised the things that the same studios will program against each other that I'm like, why would you do this?
This is what I'm most exciting about knowing.
Powers of 10?
Because that also looks like Xavier in the top there.
Top left, yeah.
But he's not wearing the helmet. So what the fuck's going on
What kind of timeline shenanigans are we doing here?
Is it timelines? Is it universes? What's going on here?
Yeah.
Because that also doesn't necessarily look like magic right there either. And that doesn't look like Nightcrawler.
Looks like Asajj Ventress down there.
That definitely looks like Nimrod on the top right, though.
Yeah.
And that kind of looks like an old Kitty Pryde jacket. Like that looks like the blue
Right,
Kitty Pryde. Is that some Cassandra Nova on the bottom maybe? But I don't know.
What's Nightcrawler's dad's name?
What's that?
What's Nightcrawler's dad's name?
Oh.
Is that who that is? Azazel?
Azazel.
Yeah.
That could
Is that
be.
Azazel?
That could be. Honestly, good thinking. Okay.
Hey, man, I've seen First Class. That's about all I know. You're welcome.
All right. So let's get in. I'm more excited finding out about Powers of 10 because I don't know anything. Oh, shit. They're already setting it up.
What
There was a dream. A dream we believe. The future is a dream.
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Northern Territory. The Nexus.
This one's dying.
Dare I hope for something salvageable from its mind? Or should I set my expectations more towards the human end of the spectrum?
Bad news on that front.
Of course.
They're wiping on termination now. Some kind of mnemonic trigger when they start to flatline.
What the fuck?
Dude, this feels like future.
And the other mutant? Well, yeah, that looks like a sentinel in the future.
Yeah. Whereas the other one seems more present, maybe? What in the hell?
We know her. That's you, I think.
Oh, we know her. Silabel was born in Kenil. Bred as a Jesus, I can't read apparently. Bred as a black brain telepath. A natural Judas. Subversion was written into her DNA. Normal field protocol is sure to fail. We'll have to give her a bath.
I love all this. I love world building where they just throw you into the terminology.
Yeah.
I also like this implication that she's a mutant that was bred.
Yeah.
Bred as a black brain telepath. Interesting. Oh, let's not give up so easily, shall we? Where that human ingenuity you're always going on about. Maybe it's current misfortune making it feel conversational. Does this sound right to you, mutant? Tell us. Why did you and your friends find rifling through the Nexus? And where, oh where, did they run off to?
What? Friends?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh my god.
That's my boy. That's my Hulking Sentinel right there. I see. So you'll be needing a persuasion then.
Dang. That's hulking huge.
I love this.
Yeah. That's sick.
To me, my X-Men.
Hang on. We're coming for you.
Okay, so she's a telepath. We got that much. No. You're still you, but whatever.
Yeah. No, don't you dare. All of this was for nothing if you don't make it back.
She's right, Rasputin. This is too important. We have to go now.
Don't pretend like you're serving some greater mutant good, priest.
She's Rasputin!
There aren't enough of us left. If you want to run, then run. I won't be.
It's gotta be the future. That's a Rasputin right there.
I will wait for as long as I can. If you do not come, then I will see you on the road to Krakoa. Oh, okay. Okay. Say a prayer for me.
Of course. I pray for all living things.
And that's my problem with you, priest. You forget. The machines have no souls, and the humans lost theirs long ago. Dang.
Yeah, baby.
This is about to get buck wild.
Okay, so either... Okay, all right.
Okay.
I don't know if I want to go as far as saying the future.
Sure.
Because the strangest things...
Oh, we missed something at the bottom
it
there.
just says, I believe we found your friends.
Ah.
I can't believe that this is the future when this girl is named Rasputin, and it looks like a combination of Colossus and Magic's powers. They're brother and sister. So I don't want to believe in a future where Colossus and Magic,
Sure.
did the nasty and had a kid. Because that's gross. So I'm assuming this might be a multiverse situation, and maybe they're trying to tell us it's a multiverse situation by calling her Rasputin.
Okay.
Or we're supposed to believe that Colossus had a kid and somehow Magic's powers got passed on to her. That could also be what the case is.
Okay.
So I'm assuming maybe it's a multiverse kind of thing.
Oh, you can't do FAQs? Come on now.
We're going to skip this. You can pick it up.
Dang.
We're going to look for some more art.
Ooh.
It's got to be multiverse because this looks like, your Polaris Magneto kind of mix.
Maybe she just found a lightsaber.
But then it says fear the future at the bottom. Son of a bitch. So it's probably just the future. Okay.
I'm sure this has probably been done in a comic book, so maybe I'm totally wrong here. But do you think that they would do one comic book that is linearly going forward and another one, maybe this one, Powers of 10, going backwards?
Possible. But even Redman Scott says Hickman said that has something different than time travel and alternate timelines.
Damn.
So and he also said that Powers of X and House of X, or Powers of 10 and House of X, are like New Avengers and Avengers in that they are two books that exist in the same story.
Right, that's right.
Come together.
They're both linear stories.
So Redman Scott has an interesting theory, and I do frickin' love Phantom X's world and the world. So this idea that the possibility that maybe this is in Phantom X's in the world, which is like a bioeugenic. It's a weird, hard to explain.
Sure.
But maybe time is sped up there in the world. That is where government agencies in the Weapon X program or the Powers, Weapon Plus program, they use that world to help create more weapons because time worked differently and all that stuff. But that's a theory. It's not a bad one, but I'm so curious to find out. What is this?
Just sprinkling a bunch of stuff in here, and it's like, oh, I want to just read all of this.
Because that looks like Apocalypse's markings. That looks like Miss Marvel or Rachel Gray markings. There's some interesting stuff going on here.
Looks like the same
And then we've got Nimrod, Apocalypse, Magneto, Mystique.
Yeah, who's that
Nova.
next? Oh.
Cassandra Nova.
Interesting. That looks like a very intricate puzzle box.
Yeah.
That I'm terrified to solve right now.
And I'll go back and I'm going to read all this stuff in my own time.
Yeah.
So those are the covers for number 2.
Dope.
Number 3 in House of X. So it definitely looks like House of X is our current timeline. You know, these look like our current, kind of, except for Miss Marvel.
Sure.
We do have Archangel with the metal wings. Cyclops Wolverine look a little more current, but also 90s. Like he's got the brown suit. But then you got Powers of 10 number 3,
Nightcrawler.
where you see Nightcrawler and Magic.
Yeah.
And a Sentinel. Oh, there's so much to ponder over. I love it.
Hey, man, only 1 week away.
I know. I'm so pumped.
I don't know why I thought this was coming out in September. But I remember when we talked about it, I guess it did mention July, and I just completely spaced on it. There's some good-looking covers.
Is that
and
Vulcan?
Art.
Is this Vulcan?
Hey, man,
Vulcan is Scott's brother that Xavier said was dead and lied about and changed Scott's memory of him.
Oh, dang.
And he ends up becoming one of the kings in the universe, and the whole realm of kings were the king stuff. Oh, it's Exodus, not Vulcan. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you for correcting me, though, chat. They all start to get really similar.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got Shaw, we've got Emma Frost, Magneto, Apocalypse, Xavier, Storm.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, Exodus always had the shoulder things. Gotcha. But 90s Exodus style.
Nice.
I wish it was Vulcan. Vulcan's awesome. Sweet.
So good. So much. And are these books going to be coming out at the same time every month? Or together, I should say?
This girl has to be some huge part of everything.
Uh-oh. Is that the one from the...
the cover with all the different, looks?
It's that girl again. Oh, interesting. They tell you the who's who.
Oh, look at this. But look at how many of them have question marks on them.
Yeah.
They're putting question marks on all these. I love it.
Sneaky. Where's number 11? Up there in the... Oh, okay.
But I like how we get Wolverine and Weapon X Wolverine on the same cover, too. Okay, all right. Well, we got some more stuff to talk about.
We're just going to be here for the last 20 minutes just looking through every page.
Everything like, what's going on?
With a magnifying glass.
Because we did want to talk about Loki #1. We both checked that one out.
Oh, you did end up reading it?
I did, yeah, of course.
Nice.
Yeah, we checked out Loki #1. Really fun.
So fun.
Really fun.
This was so fun. And now, obviously because of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, reading this as Tom Hiddleston and Chris Hemsworth and this Thor looking a lot like what Chris Hemsworth looked like as Thor prior to the events of Endgame, it was so easy to read it as those two characters, and it was so fun. It was so fun and playful, and I loved how the narration sort of breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah.
And has so much fun with
it's
you
Loki
as the
telling
reader.
You a story.
And I love that. It's so fun. As the reader, I had the best time reading this.
It was a really good #1.
It was.
Sets up a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
I like the misdirect with the moment with Thor.
Yes.
The wrong brother, and then bringing that back at the end, which you're like, wait, Thor's the one that's bringing the end of the world, and this future Thor, possibly, which the way they hid the face at the end makes me think that wasn't future Thor.
Yeah.
Was sharing that information to try to tell Loki you have to stop Thor.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's great.
I
really
liked
fun.
it so much. It was really fun. The artwork was really fun. Just overall, I love the tone of it. If you haven't read a Loki book and this is potentially your first, it's a really great tone to pull people in. I really liked it.
Cool.
I want to read more of it, damn it.
I highly suggest it. I think it's a great book.
I was a little bummed when it ended. I'm like, oh, come on, keep going. This is great.
It was a good one. It's a quick read. It's a fun read, and it picks up right after the events of War of the Realms. It feels very teenager Loki, which is still a fun one.
Yeah,
Pretty good. We have Lady Mechanic, Sangre #2. I don't think either one of us got a chance to read this one yet. Little Bird #5. I cannot praise this book enough. It is phenomenal. I read all the Little Birds last time #4 came out. I liked #4 so much I went back, read 1, 2, 3.
Nice.
This is the end.
Oh, no way.
This is the end. It's only a 5-issue run.
Dang.
I wanted to show you a couple panels because this is another example of an indie book where the art
Oh, wow.
where the art is just phenomenal, and there's like an action scene where it's just like, holy fuck.
Oh, dang, and they jump back and forth between color and black and white? I'm
No,
assuming
that was just
Oh,
for
it's just okay,
showing you the pencils or the inks.
Yep.
This whole like knife fight
Whoa.
is so awesome. The movement, the art.
That's sick.
You know what? This might actually be Trad Moore doing the art again, now that I think about it.
You better look right now.
I know. This shot right here, where like we must cut through them.
Dang.
When she's attacking with a knife, and you see this frame where the panel
shows
shows you that his arm's off,
sick.
and then it cuts to her, and you see this panel in line with her legs being chopped off.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
So good. Holy crap, now I feel really dumb, and I'm like, is this Trad Moore all along? And
that's some really great use of panel work. I don't know. I'm looking at the character faces. I don't know.
No. Ian Bertram. Ian Bertram. Similar style.
Yeah, there's some similarities a little bit.
Really amazing art in this book.
Yeah.
So good. I love this book.
I
think this book's amazing. Little Bird, #5 just dropped. There's only 5 issues. Definitely worth your time to check out.
Just on the artwork alone, I mean, that's so good. I love when there was what was it? There was a Justice League Dark book that I read a couple weeks ago that you pointed out. Man, utilizing the panels in an interesting way to tell the story is always so awesome to check out.
Immortal Hulk #21. This was a really fun issue. I know some people are really enjoying Al Ewing's Immortal Hulk run. You can't go wrong with it. I'm going to start moving a little quicker on these, but I'm excited to check out Glory Days Volume 2. Did not get a chance to read it today. Ghost Tree #4. Oh my gosh.
Controversial comic book reader, apparently.
Ghost Tree #4. I know I had some mixed thoughts about #3.
Yeah.
And I was saying that it felt like it was getting a little repetitive.
Sure.
The beginning of Ghost Tree #4 was also a little repetitive, but it was worth it for the ending. This book wrecked me.
Oh, no way.
The last 2 pages fucking wrecked me.
Oh, dang.
It wrecked, man. The setup, the story that led you to it, and then the final 2 pages wrecked me so much. Like, I had to put the books down for a little bit and step away and be like, okay.
Wow.
All right, I'm going to back off for a little bit. And you find out, like, the whole book was mainly about, like, facing now and not living in the past.
Sure.
And not living in your ghosts, basically.
Yeah.
And looking to your ghosts to try to, like, solve your problems is the wrong thing to do. And you need to focus on the now and the future and not let life pass you by.
That's some deep shit.
And unlike a lot of books, you think that your protagonist, when they learn from that, it will fix their problem. And it pulls the rug right out from under you by being like, nope, sorry.
Yeah.
Nope, Dang. Sorry. Dang. Russell Alamight says, you both need the same mic, please. There's a big difference in voice volumes.
I think that's just dogs barking, bro.
Dogs barking and me talking a lot louder to go over the dogs. We have the exact same microphone. It's fine. But yeah, it's great. The final 2 pages of that book destroyed me, man.
Dang.
It destroyed me.
Well, that's a way to sell me on a book, I guess. You want to get wrecked? No? Great, read this. All right.
It was unreal, man. Gideon Falls #15. I love this book, but this is a great example of a book you need to wait and you need to pick up at You got to pick up a volume. If you were just to pick up Gideon Falls number 15 right now, you would be amazed by the art, but you would have no clue what's going on. Nothing at all. And I love this book, but it's really hard to follow. It's a really good one to pick up in volumes.
Okay.
Faithless number 4. Why am I still reading this book?
Dude, you just love to torture yourself.
Why am I still reading this book?
Just love to torture yourself, my man.
I don't know, man. I'm still reading it. It's still really gross and makes you feel icky.
Icky sticky?
Makes you feel really icky. There's a couple problematic pages in this book this week.
Yet you're always like, I guess I'm going to read the next one.
I don't know. There were a couple problematic moments for sure where I'm just like, I don't know.
Oh, Zach is right.
I don't know.
I would say hit the read button, but I'm terrified.
No, I can't.
Exactly.
I can't. It's against terms of service.
Hello to the last episode of this show, apparently.
I can't do it.
Hi.
Evolution number 17. I checked this out. Obviously, it's 17 issues in, but I wanted to see, hey, what's all this about? I wasn't really into it. So, But I think the best book currently on the stands, Excellence, number 3, dropped today. If you're not reading this book yet, what are you doing? Every week it comes out, and I'm like, this is the best book on the stands. Go pick it up. You should be reading it. It's so good. It's a mix of sci-fi. It's a mix of Afro-punk. It's a mix of, like, Afrofuturism. It's a mix of fantasy. It's just really well done. It's really well done. The art and the storytelling are great. It's a great combination of everything that's good in comic books.
I love the cover. It looks like a Mondo poster almost.
Yeah.
It's really good looking.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm about it.
Pick Excellence number 3 up. I didn't get a chance to read Domino Hot Shots number 5 of 5. I'm going to check out all 5 of them in a row. All right, Die, 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 Volume 1 is another volume that came out today. This is Robert Kirkman's other book. I'm excited to check this out, give it a deep read. Daredevil number 8. Awesome single issue.
Yeah.
This is a good single issue to pick up. It's Matt Murdock sitting down at a dinner table with the head of a crime family and their entire family. He gets invited to dinner, and he doesn't know that the person who invited him is a member of this crime family. And then the second he sits down, he's like, oh, shit! oh no! And it's great Matt Murdock stuff.
And you thought a first-time family dinner was awkward.
Yeah.
This is that.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay, let's see. Collapser number 1. We both read this one.
What'd
you think?
I actually liked it.
Okay.
I liked it a lot. I thought it was very similar to how Loki is very much narrating to the audience and having fun with it. This is not necessarily having as much fun, but I was so just sort of like not really surprised, but there's an interesting part where this character he's working in a hospital and he's trying to deal with all these patients, and he's like getting peed on, and he's dealing with bloody bandages, and he just wants to go play chess with this old man, and he doesn't get to do that, and then he gets his box from like his dead mother, and what the hell, he all of a sudden gets sucked into something, and you're like, what is happening in this crazy book?
It is wild. Collapser,
it's wild, man.
Number 1. It throws a lot at you.
It does.
Very fast.
But I will say, even though it does do that, it throw a lot at you, I did not find it hard to follow.
Okay.
I thought it was like, I read
there
through it
were
and
a couple
I got
parts I was a little confused on. Like
Sure.
you said, the guy in the store who turns around, he's got a hole in his head.
That was crazy.
They don't really come back to that at all.
No,
and they don't put it in other places, so
Yeah.
it feels a little out of place.
Yeah, so I'm like,
And I'm sure it'll come back in issue 2.
sure. Yeah, there's an amazing moment that he's with like the store clerk. He's having a conversation about getting cigarettes, and the store clerk turns around to grab them, and he remembers, oh yeah, this is the clerk has like a memorial photo on the wall, but he's here, and he's freaking out, and all of a sudden the guy turns around, he's got a big giant like hole in his head.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on? And then more stuff. I dug it.
I'm excited to see where it goes next.
Same.
The thing I liked the least about it was the fact that he was a DJ.
That part didn't really bother me.
It bothered me because
much,
it felt very much like DC trying to be like, this is what the kids are into these days. And it felt a little out of touch.
I also, for whatever reason, I think the location also confused me because I thought it was in L.A.
Yeah.
But then they mentioned Berlin. I'm like, is this in Germany or is this in a Berlin-style club?
The promoter who was there was from the Berlin Festival.
Gotcha.
And he thought that was an opportunity to get hired to be a DJ at the Berlin Festival.
Okay. Clarified. boom.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I thought it was a fun read.
Yeah, cool.
I liked it, yeah.
That's pretty much all of the new books this week. I picked up a couple volumes that I'm going to read. Oh, wait, you read Blade Runner #1.
I did read Blade Runner #1. So this is a new series of comics that they're doing. In this first issue, we get introduced to this new character named Ash, who gets recruited to find the missing wife and daughter of a competitor of another billionaire businessman whose name I don't want to reveal, but if you like Blade Runner 2049, then I think that sets up enough for you.
Oh! Okay, I got to check it out.
It's also from the writers of Blade Runner 2049. I will say it's not super strong, and it kind of feels a little too generic for the Blade Runner universe.
Really?
But I'm curious to see issue 2 and beyond how they now all of a sudden go exploring the Blade Runner universe. This character ends up going to Santa Barbara, so you get to see like different parts of Southern California at least. So I'm interested to see the potential. I think it's a little bit of like a very meh Blade Runner comic.
I mean, you tickled my fancy with that setup, though. I want to know how it all connects. So
that's kind of like what I'm interested in finding out. Is this going to be a book that will potentially cover 30 years of history? Is it not even going to worry about that? And it's just like 2019, we're in this part of the universe, and this is what's happening. You know, a sideline story to other things that are going to happen in the future. But it was good. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I'm very interested, though, and I love the Blade Runner movies, and I love that universe. So
we need to watch 2049 again.
We should. Now that we have that sound system.
We did. I put it on with the sound system, and I was like,
I do have Blade Runner in 4K.
I do too.
The remaster. Oh, you do too?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, man. Great minds think alike.
We've got all the same movies.
Final Cut, baby.
That's right.
Black Science #41, I didn't get a chance to check out, or Black Badge #12.
Yeah.
Did you read Batman?
I started reading this. I literally have it pulled up here on Comixology. This shit is crazy because I don't know what's been happening leading into this. When the comic book starts, it's two detectives who get a call about a murder.
Okay.
Camera pulls out, it's Joker and the Riddler. Commissioner Gordon is Victor Zsasz, and Batman is Thomas Wayne. What Earth are we on?
What the hell?
Yeah. I was super intrigued by it. I was into it. The ventriloquist, or Arnold, I forget what Arnold's last name is. He's the butler in this universe. He's Alfred. They introduce potentially a new Bat character or new sidekick or something. Yeah, I dug it. I dug sort of the pull from underneath where it was like, oh yeah, these are two cops investigating a murder. Oh, it's Two-Face. Wait a second. The two cops are Riddler and the Joker? What the hell? They're calling into the commissioner. Wait, it's Hugo Strange? What? What is happening? It was rad. I liked it. So I got to finish that issue, and I do want to sort of figure out, like, okay, cool. Where did this start? How all of a sudden are we on this alternate universe where Thomas Wayne is Batman? How did we get here? But it was cool. I dug it from what I read so far.
I did not get a chance to check out Age of X-Men Omega #1. I'm a little worried to check out any X-Men books before the complete relaunch next week.
Sure. Yeah.
That being said, I do want to bring up, if you look through a recently purchased and you see what I've been able to read over the last week, you'll notice Wildstorm. Wildstorm.
I was like, these all came out this week? What's happening here?
Nope. I started finally reading DC's Wildstorm, which is a continuation of Jim Lee's story of the Wildcats from the 90s in the Wildstorm universe, relaunched by Warren Ellis. How the fuck did I not know about this? Warren Ellis relaunched the Wildstorm universe? Count me the fuck in! The second I found out about this, I was like, yeah! And Warren Ellis, the Wildstorm, I read all of it in a course of 2 days.
So you were excited.
All of it. I'm completely caught up. It's over now. It ends on issue 24.
Oh my God.
I read the entire thing. It was awesome.
Really? Okay.
When Ellis is allowed to do, and it is not what you remember. This is literally like covert action teams and what you would imagine a covert action, but it's a giant world-building operation that sets the stage for Wildstorm Universe to come back swinging. They are releasing in August a Wildcats book that gets set up in the Wildstorm.
Okay.
And this sets up the Anarchy team. and it's good. It is a good book, and it will unfortunately most likely influence things on Kolok without me realizing it's influencing. Because there's a couple things that already were lining up as I was reading it. I was like, oh no, this is really close to what I was doing.
I need to put this book down, but it's so good.
Oh, but it's so good.
Yeah.
It's really good. I read all of it over a course of 2
Damn.
days. I just went deep.
Wow.
It's great. It's really great. And
You
I don't
went
even want to
for
give
it.
away too much because it's really strong.
Yeah.
I've also been reading that that manga that was the I can't remember the name now.
Cool, man.
I'm in my head. I'm thinking I got to go get ready for Rat Queens. So
Oh, you're on Rat Queens.
I'm on Rat Queens.
Oh shit, we better cut
so
the
I
cable
gotta cut
then.
it down, and because we went live direct to Twitch
Yeah.
now, and he can't switch downstairs until I go offline up here. So we're probably going to have to end the show now, so I can go downstairs and get ready for Rat Queens. Don't go anywhere. Stick around, everybody. If you're on YouTube, head over to Twitch. If you're on Facebook, head over to Twitch. Rat Queens tonight, I will be guesting as Neil the Fun Guy. And we also have some amazing other guests playing the Cat Kings tonight on a very special one-shot episode. Head over to Twitch. Check it out. We're going to be going offline. Thank you so much for joining us for Comics and Coffee today. I'm Zach, and this is this guy.
This is me. I'm this guy. Thank you guys so much for the super chat tips, by the way.
Thank you so
Really
much.
appreciate all the support. And if you're down at Comic-Con, come meet us on Saturday, 1 to 3 p.m. at the Hilton Gas Lamp. Super excited to see you guys.
We're going to have some Kolok trading cards to give away. Monica made trading cards, and they're awesome for Kolok.
I mean, if you don't come, you're going to miss out on a huge opportunity for some cool stuff.
Make sure to be following our YouTube and all of our social media accounts, Hyper RPG and Hyper Heroes, for all the updates on things going on at Comic-Con and what we think about them. So thank you guys so much. Head over to Twitch. Have a good one, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.